I always tell people, business owners, is that nobody cares that you're working all the time. So if you work all the time, you're just taking away from yourself and your family.
Hey, Anna, do you think people are listening? Yeah, why wouldn't they be? We make business so fun. Don't we? In that case, let's introduce ourselves. Hey, it's Anna and Selena and the 15-ish minute coffee chat podcast. Talking business doesn't have to be boring. So dive into our coffee chat conversations and learn something new for your small business.
Hi, and welcome to season 14 of the 15-ish minute coffee chat with Anna and Selena, a conversation providing tips for every entrepreneur and business owner.
So, what's it like to run a successful business with your family? This week, we're chatting with Wendy and Madison Hively, the mother daughter power duo behind Charlie Madison Originals, as they celebrate 10 incredible years in business. From their advice on working with family to the lessons they've learned along the way, Wendy and Madison will share insights into building a meaningful brand while keeping passion and purpose at the heart of it all. Plus, they'll reflect on what they'd tell their 1 year selves if they could go back in time. Don't we all? I'd love to know. I cannot wait to hear their answers. So, whether you're a business owner thinking about starting a venture with family or simply looking for inspiration, this episode is filled with wisdom, heart, and encouragement.
Oh,
Well written, my friend. So, you guys, I just
thank you
want to
so
touch
much.
a note real fast. First of all, we're it's in season 14, but it's not like we just show up at the computer and like hit record. There is planning that goes in with this, and some of that is writing, things that we want to say. And Anna does such a fantastic job at it. And I'm like, I get to read these words and sound like I made them, but I just want to give props to the one that actually created the copy, and that is the lovely Anna Larson.
Well, it's
Hey,
easy
girl.
to create copy when you have amazing guests, right? Because
So
our
true.
topic today is going to be so much fun. 10 years in business, celebrating a huge milestone, plus a family-owned business, which is kind of near and dear to both Selena's and my heart,
Yeah.
in the sense of we have children that we wouldn't mind working with as well. They're still a little young maybe to be in that role. But anyway, I mean, there's just a lot that we're going to unpack here today that I'm excited to have a conversation about.
Yeah. And yes. I mean, I want to talk more about, okay, Anna, what is our call to action question we want to ask our audience before we read their bio?
Okay, audience, we want to have you drop into the comments right now. Just give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Have you worked with a family member in business? Okay. This is any family member. Like when I was 14, my second job, my first was at a shoe store, and I promised I'd never do retail ever again in my entire life. Number one. But my second job, real job, was working in my dad's office filing paperwork. And like that was okay. Right? But now I'm thinking like, would I go back and work with my dad now? Might be a different situation, right? How about you,
Yeah.
Selena?
Yeah, no, I currently have on my team, I work with my sister and my cousin and my daughter. So, yes, there are challenges, but it's super rewarding. And I'll never forget a quick retreat I went to. Like, I thought it was embarrassing to say you employed or you were able to give an opportunity to your family. But I remember several other entrepreneurs looked at me and they said, what a blessing that you are able to do that.
Yeah.
Don't think because they're your sister it's less worthy. And I just, what a mind. And I do feel proud, but I felt so proud then, and I was so glad that they switched, because I know it's not for everybody, like you said, Anna, but I know it is a blessing that I get to work with my family, and we're really in each other's business quite a lot. So anyway, that's my answer.
Well, we're really excited today to be
Yeah.
talking about celebrating these 10 years and kind of what that looks like for Wendy and Madison, who are the owners of Charlie Madison. And so we're
Yeah.
going to kind of dive in. Let's pull up their bio and
Yes.
say something about them, and then we'll bring them on stage. And all right.
Yes.
Okay.
Have at it, Anna.
So, Wendy and Madison Hively of Charlie Madison Originals, founded by a veteran Navy spouse and named after her daughters, Charlie Madison Originals is a mother daughter run company creating jewelry that unites the military community, inspires connections through all seasons of military life, and gives back to nonprofit organizations. Our bracelets are your tangible, everyday reminders that every day matters. Your anchor to a faraway family and friends, and to our community filled with families like yours who understand the sacrifices of military life. Collaborations and giving back are the heart of the Charlie Madison mission. They are proud to honor 3 generations of family who have served by collaborating with nonprofit organizations to shine a light on their missions, and by giving back 5% of purchases to nonprofits that support military service members and their families. I love the give back
Yeah,
mission.
I know. I always look forward every year when they like announce who they're giving back to, and I'm always like loving all of their choices. And I
Yeah.
just, it's not every day you get to see that, and to know that your purchase goes toward being part of that big check they present to these nonprofits has been like, it's just been fun to like, because yeah, there's so many
Yeah.
things, so many things.
So we're going to stop talking. We're going to actually bring our guests up so that when we're talking about this stuff, they get to be in part of that conversation. Are we ready?
100%. Yes, bring them up, Anna. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
You guys
Assume that
meet
we're supposed to have guests.
yes. Yeah. I was like, I can keep talking. But hey guys, this is Madison and Wendy of Charliemadison Originals. And we're so excited to have you guys here today. I could not say enough wonderful things about you two. And every year when I get to be just a little closer to you guys, I just get super excited.
Yeah.
So welcome.
We feel the same about you, especially this last year at the Military Influencer Conference, and just feeling like we got to really have some conversations. It was really
Yes.
It was.
Yes. I felt like we were like a club, like a special club
Yes.
at Mick, right? Like
so
I was
fun.
like, where's our girls? Like, where's everybody? Because there's a couple of us, we hung out and we strategized, we talked business, right? And my favorite thing, Madison, was seeing you up on stage with your mom at Parade Deck and speaking to the mother-daughter family business perspective.
Yeah.
Are we going to put the band back together at Mick this year?
I hope so.
course.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we need to have a special like entrance bracelet that we have to wear in order to be part of the band.
Yeah. Ooh.
It is our 10-year anniversary.
Yes.
So,
Ideas are coming. Okay, before we get started, we're going to take our coffee cup selfie or cup selfie or whatever it is that they have. And you guys, I'm going to just tell you real fast before we say shoot. I picked my Nevada Starbucks cup because this is where I got to meet Wendy and Madison in person the first time at the first Mick I ever went to. So people think I don't have a rhyme or reason to my Starbucks collection, but I do. So anyway, okay, on 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, our imaginary photographer took a screenshot and posted it, and you'll see that somewhere. So, all right, okay, Anna, let's shuffle around the board here, and we are going to put them in our special power pose seat, and we're going to go with the first question.
Yeah, let's go with the question. So we have some questions for you about the celebration of your 10 years and working together. So our very first question has to do with that family aspect. Can you share some advice on working with family members in your business? Maybe like one do and one don't. I kind of like that idea.
I always talk. I was going to say, I always talk first. You go first, but now you want me to go first.
I can go first.
You can go first.
I think that at least for us, like people always ask like how is it that you work with your mom or whatever? Like I could never work with my family members. And for us, we're very, very similar. We're both eldest daughters, and we each only have one younger sister. So we're very similar personalities in the way that we work. We're both very independent. And so like we both go do our own things and then come back together when we need to and communicate when we need to get things done. And I think like advice would be to like play along each other's strengths in business, because each of us, while we do things together, we also each do things like separately, that like you're better at certain things than I am, and I'm better at certain things than you are. And that works really well.
I like that.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I love what you just said, Madison, because what you just said is you give space for your mom to do what she does best. And then Wendy, you in return give space for Madison to do what they do best. Instead of like saying, I'm older and in charge, or I own the business, or you know what I mean? Like kind of that power play that you can sometimes see in family business. I think this is one of the reasons you've been so successful is you respect each other's strengths in that way. So I love that answer. Yeah.
So that leaves me with the don't, right? I have a good don't. It's actually a don't and a do. How about that? Don't take your family member that works with you for granted.
Mm,
I think that we have a tendency to treat family members different if we're working with them because it's like, oh, it's just our family and they know that we love them and they know that we appreciate them. But I don't think that's the right answer. And I think
mhm,
there are just many times when Madison does something extra and I just say thanks for doing that or
mhm,
thanks for this. And I mean, that's not monetary. I mean, there are monetary things too as
mhm.
well, but I think that just saying thank you for and being appreciative for what they do goes a long way.
That that is
I
yeah.
Yeah, Anna knows how much I love that, and I think because in my earlier career, you were never acknowledged for the things you did, right? And I just remember how it made me feel, and sometimes, anyway, I love that you acknowledge because I think it's so important, and I think it really empowers people that do work with you, um, to do even like a little bit more, just because they know that you've acknowledged them, and I just because sometimes that's not a superpower for people. They don't,
No,
it's not in them to acknowledge, right? They're like, great, they did the job in their head. They're happy. But
right.
they
Well,
they
I mean, it
yeah.
goes back to we all want to be seen and we all want to
Yeah.
be like, yeah, I saw what you did and I know that you put in the extra effort and it
Hmm.
really means a lot to me. I think that's just
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what's interesting though is what you're saying about it there being that little family caveat piece to that though, right? Because there's an expectation my family member is going to love me anyway, be okay if I'm grumpy and unkind in this way one day because I'm having a bad day. You know, right? There's an expectation. So I love that you're saying, hey, you cannot take for granted that relationship
Hmm.
between when it comes to business time, right?
Hmm.
Yes.
So do
Yes.
you find that you're able to separate like this is business hours, this is we're now at home and now we're mom and daughter hours, like, or is it all mixed?
Mostly, I mean, we
Kind of.
yeah.
It's hard because, like, we run the business from our house. It's not necessarily
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
drive
Yeah.
somewhere to go, like, do everything for the business and then come back here, and it's like, okay, we're not like we could just go upstairs and
And
do
Yeah.
all the work
yeah,
at
well,
any
yeah.
time of the day. And also, it's funny because, like, most people, like, my age are like, "Oh, I'm texting my mom," or, like, "I'm calling and talking to my mom," and, like, a lot of our text messages back and forth are, like, stuff about
This
business or, like,
yeah.
and so I think we do separate, like,
Yeah. We don't work all the time.
we
That's
don't
for
Yeah.
sure. We don't. But we try to keep it you have different hours than I do. And
yeah.
Yeah.
so,
She also
Mhm.
works full-time
yeah,
outside of this,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
usually, like, during the day when I'm working, she's doing her full-time job
yeah,
and I'm doing mine,
the
so it's kinda
business. Yeah.
like we find the time of when we're going to talk and do business stuff together, and then outside of that, we're just mom and daughter.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I love
I
that combination. Like, I'm
yeah.
curious, is there ever a time where like your husband's like, stop, enough, we're done with the business. Let's just
No.
No,
go to the movies, you know?
because we do a really good job of cutting it off ourselves.
Mm, I love
I learned a number of years ago to just cut it off and you have sort of this is the family time now. This is dinner time and this is TV time and relaxing time. So, yeah.
Wendy, that's great advice. I would have a hard time. I would probably secretly message Madison and be like, "Did you send that package out we talked about?" You know what I mean? But you're still honoring, like, that's the bad Selena in me. So kudos to your
that.
boundaries.
Well, I feel like it would be really hard because I have a hard time just separating work and family life now sometimes, right? It'll be 9 p.m. and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to do that thing. And then I'll head back to my office. And it's like, no, actually, you were supposed to be playing this game or doing this other thing that has nothing to do with work. But it's so hard when you work and live in the same space.
It
Yeah.
is.
I think, yeah, for me, sometimes it is because I can kind of work at all hours of the day. And plus, since it is just the two of us, half the time there's always more to be done every day.
Right.
There's always more. And so it's like, oh, I didn't get to that today. Like, should I also be doing that? Or should I just do that tomorrow? So it's kind of, it can be hard sometimes depending on what's going on or what we have like pressing at the time.
Yeah.
Madison, so what you're telling me is running a business is not easy, correct? I mean,
Yeah.
it is a lot of work.
It is. And you know
Yeah.
what I always tell people, business owners, is that nobody cares that you're working all the time. So if you work all the time, you're just taking away from yourself and your family. So you have to figure out how to sort of divide your time so that it's I don't know even if fair and equitable is right, because you never seem to have like that with entrepreneurship, but you have to make that little bit of division.
Yeah. I feel like this is a secret to part of the secret to your 10 years of success, that you've been able to create that space that allows for all of those important areas of your life. So, were you doing this business as an active duty military family where you had to pack up your stuff and move it around, or did this start after the military life?
Yeah, this started after my husband retired from the Navy. And so really you've been working with me for what? 4 or 5
For
4
I think
years?
almost 5.
Almost 5 years. So, half of the time I was just a solopreneur. It was just,
Mhm.
me by myself. And so, but no, we were never an active duty family doing this.
Mhm.
Okay, so now this just kind of leads very well into our next question, which is what would you tell your Charlie Madison selves from year one? So this kind of says now, Wendy, you working as a solopreneur at year one, but then I'd love to also hear Madison, what would you tell yourself as joining the business in your year one? What
Mhm.
would you tell yourself now? If you could go back in time, that's where
Go
this
back.
question is going. Yeah.
You
You
want me
go
to go?
first.
Okay. I you've probably heard me say this, especially when we talked at Mick last year, but um I would tell myself to y- learn from other people and listen to other people's advice, but don't stay stuck in, especially what your industry says you must do to be successful. Try different things and be willing to pivot if they don't work. I mean, I've always said that we look to other industries that are doing fun things and how we can adapt them to work, for for our business. Like when during COVID, when people were stuck at home, we created this scavenger hunt thing, and people um had a download, and they did this whole scavenger hunt, and then they sent it back to us, and we sent them a treasure chest that had a bracelet inside. And so it was just something that was fun, that took from somebody else and made it our own. And I think that's the key, is being willing to try, adapting, and just moving on. Don't get stuck if something doesn't work. Just try something else.
I think
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. I feel like that goes across, but I love that that's what you go back and tell year one. Because year one, when you start your business, you're afraid, right?
Oh,
You're afraid
yeah.
of failure,
Yep.
spending money in the wrong places, doing the wrong thing, making the wrong choice, right? I
Right.
love that.
Right. Right.
Okay.
All right, Madison. Yeah, tell us yours, Madison. I'm really curious to hear.
a little similar to mine. I would tell myself not to be afraid of change and really
Mhm.
give yourself opportunity to grow. So when I first joined, I I was I just graduated from college during the pandemic in 2020, and I started going back. I went to grad school online, right? And so I started working for Charlie Madison part-time while I was in grad school for 2 years. And so because there was like all this uncertainty and whatnot, I think knowing what I know now, like give yourself a lot of opportunity to try things, and to, if things don't work, to try something else, and don't be afraid of change, and don't be a perfectionist, because most of my life I was a perfectionist, and
Yeah.
if things didn't exactly work out how I wanted them to, or how I thought that they would, I would just be like kind of upset with myself, or be like, ugh, like frustrated. But a lot of things are outside of your control, and you need to be adaptable in entrepreneurship, which I've learned over the years that it's very hard. And if you can't be adaptable, then it's probably not for you to be in business or be a
Yes.
business owner. But yeah, I think that would be my
We were
advice
the
to myself.
perfectionist twins.
Yeah,
I've been recovering a little longer than she has.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better at it, but I was a perfectionist,
Yeah.
and like I didn't want to fail either. I thought failure was not in my wheelhouse or realm of possibilities that I wanted.
Mhm.
And you have to learn how to fail, and if things don't work out, try something new, try something else to see what works, and pivot, like you
Yep.
said. That's very important.
I just have to know, like, did your mom help you learn that, because your mom had 5 years previous experience kind of going through that same learning process, right? Like, do you feel like you watched what she did, or did you kind of, you know how your kids out, I'm talking to your mom now.
Yeah.
You know how your kids like are like, I
Mhm.
want to figure it out for myself sometimes.
Yeah.
As
I-
opposed
Yeah, I think because I watched her create this entire business by herself
Yeah.
when I was in like late middle school and high
Mhm.
school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've always seen her work really hard and to try new things like at such a young age. And it's always inspired me and like
Mm.
made me think of like all the realm of possibilities and like what's possible. Like, why can't you be a business owner? Or like, why can't you
Yeah.
do this or do that? And so I think I have learned a lot of that from you about
Mhm.
perfectionism and like letting go of
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
that.
But you know, I think we need to pause to give he's over in the other room, but we have to give credit to my husband and Madison's dad, because I think he has helped us to overcome this perfectionist tendency and all of that.
Yes,
He's
Oh,
because he gives very good advice, and
yeah.
the other that the both of us are very stubborn, and there are
Mm.
this advice that we might not want to hear, but
Yeah.
it is good advice,
Yeah.
and we should implement that. And
Yeah.
so it's always I think because we're similar and we think similarly, it's good to have outside
yes,
perspectives
that's a great tip
to
too. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
think
To break it
differently,
up or
and
think outside the box. Yeah.
So basically, you have a unofficial HR therapist on call, right? Just to kind of manage the business relationship, the familial relationship, and then that like wave when they crash together. I'm sure it's great to have somebody like that, you know?
Yeah, I think he's our biggest supporter.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
really
Oh,
is.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask this because we luckily get to talk to Wendy and Madison sometimes offline, and we talked about this like when you have a family business and it's the succession is that word, right? People either watch that show on HBO. You guys are obviously not as toxic as that show in the family business, but like when you work with your parent, do you call your mom? Do you call her Wendy? Like, is a question that I'm always fascinated with, because some people struggle with saying no, mom, right, in meetings or whichever. Like, what's yours? How do you advise somebody that has something similar?
I think that it depends on the person and the relationship that they have with their parent. I always refer to her as mom in any capacity, but online on like social media,
Yeah.
when I'm referring to us, I always refer to her as Wendy, because
Yeah.
nobody technically like knows her as like, people do know you as my mom, but like if they're not familiar, they're just like, oh, Madison and her mom. But I always refer to her as mom.
Mhm.
I know that's a strange question. We have another client that also has a business, and we had that same question posed to them from somebody else, where they're like, oh, when you do that, do you call your mom by her first name, or do you say mom in like all these consulting meetings? And they were like, she said, as a mom, it was weird hearing her son, but her son had made the decision to say Jean or whatever. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I think it's different if you have a bigger team and you have
Yeah.
other people
Mhm.
involved, which we don't.
Which,
So, but
yeah.
I think it would be different if that was the
Yeah, if it
case.
was a different and we had a
Yeah.
big team, like maybe I would probably refer
Yeah.
her in a more formal
Yeah.
capacity. But
Yeah.
since it is just the two of us, it's like it's weird for me to be like Wendy.
Yeah,
It's just weird for me.
Yeah, no, that would be for me too. Oh my gosh. Okay, no, thanks for asking that totally rogue question that was not sent to them. They're like, I mean, 10 years in business, like, are you guys just like, wow, I can't believe, like, would you have believed you would have gotten to 10, Wendy, when you first started this?
Probably not, no, but again, stubborn, and just like persistence and perseverance. Like, I've had people who've just sort of not given me or us really the credit for what we've done, and just saying, well, you know what, and we've been I mean, a small business that stayed in business for 10 years is really huge nowadays. It's kind of a big milestone.
Mhm.
So,
And
um,
through a pandemic. Don't forget that part.
yeah,
How
yeah,
many small
yeah,
businesses shut down
yep,
during COVID because they couldn't stay afloat, right? And so the
exactly,
fact that you talking briefly about that pivot that you did and coming up with fresh ideas, and would it be about the time you joined the team, it sounds like,
yep,
Madison,
yeah,
also would be
yeah,
right either before COVID or through that COVID timeframe. And I feel like that probably is a huge demonstration of why you're still in business, right? Because
yeah,
you were able to say to yourselves, all right, we're going outside the box. We're
yeah,
not going to stick in our lane. We're going to just try things and see where it goes. And um yeah, I don't know. And I'm just going to say this. There's something special about the two of you working together that just you make the environment so comfortable and cozy for your customers, for your clients that come to you for your stuff, that you do such a good job in creating community for your brand. And there's a lot of small businesses that can't do that very well
yeah.
or don't do that very well. And you guys have done an amazing job creating that loyalty to who you are. I mean, can we just all show our Charlie Madison bracelets
Yeah,
we're
we're
wearing
all
right now? I mean, right? I love that so much. And honestly, yeah, oh yeah, and Selena's got her necklace on too. You're muted, Selena. You're muted.
I was hoping to go through one episode without having to be muted, but I want to say I genuinely love the Charlie Madison brand so much. I think there's just, I've told Wendy and Madison this, like, I don't purchase based on the color but it's the story that the bracelet is telling, because there's a name for each one. One of these is Grace, the Grace bracelet, and I have it on because my daughter's middle name is Grace.
Mhm.
And I love just that kind of connection. And I love like how you guys assign those things to your products on your page. So it's not just a product, it's a story just waiting to be put on your body, on the body. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
waiting for it.
I
Anyway,
feel like that speaks
I'm a
to their
fan.
passion side, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we titled this conversation like celebrating family passion and success. So we've talked about the
Yeah.
family, we talked about the success. That to me leans into your passion side,
Yeah.
where your customers feel that from both of you, which I think is really awesome.
Mhm. Yeah.
That Madison, you saw what your mom created and then you wanted to be part of that. At least I'm
Mhm.
assuming that's how it
Yeah.
happened. And it wasn't like
Yeah.
Wendy going, guess what you're going to start doing now?
Yeah. No, when I I think when I was in college, I was trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do after college. And I got my degree in business and marketing and entrepreneurship. And so even when I graduated during the pandemic and the job market was very uncertain, and I was like, we were like trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what is my next step going to be? And I went back to school. And then while I was doing my grad school and I was done grad school, I was like, I just have this like feeling or this calling that I need to like run the business with you. And it wasn't just like,
Mm.
okay, I was working with you part time to make money while I was in school, and now I'm going to go get a different job in corporate America, I'm like, the business is partially named after me. It's like a part of my legacy now. And it's like, I have this calling to want to run it with you. And it's the much more difficult path than me just going to get a job,
It
a
is
corporate job.
It is a labor of love. People who think they're making millions of dollars just don't. I mean,
I
it
wish we
is.
were. And
Wow.
hopefully we will grow
Yeah.
to that point
Yeah.
these days, one of these years. But
Yeah.
it's very rewarding for me and fulfilling, because I'm like, how many other people get to run a business with their mom?
Yeah.
And it's really special and it's really cool. And I am so thankful for that. And I don't take
Yeah.
that for granted
Yeah.
at all.
I feel like right now we're doing the little finger hearts. Right now, they're just floating through the air.
Yes.
Little
Yeah.
finger hearts, like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, I love, like, Wendy. That's got to be so incredibly special to hear that coming from your daughter. Like what you've inspired in her. I mean, that, like, it gives me the feels like I want to start crying for you guys. You know, like happy tears, of course, but like one of those, like, just that warm fuzzy of like, wow, the impact you've made on your child that's really like amazing.
It is. I know. I mean, and I know we're gonna sit here and have a moment too, right? I mean, because we're usually just talking about, did you ship Selena's order today?
Yeah.
And
I'm going to bring this up because Wendy said it right. So it's not a lie, right? I love their stuff, right? And my husband is always like, oh, that bag is in our house again. Is that the same bag as the other bags? Same bag as last year. Not even a new one. Wouldn't even let him open up. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to show, this is like my favorite bag in the house. Anyway. No, okay, real fast. And I want to just ask you this, Wendy and Madison, like, because you said your conversation is usually always like, did you ship this off? Or do you take time for you both to celebrate the hard work you put into your business? Like, do you do that for yourself?
Really bad about that.
I know that, like, when growing up, like even in school, and like I said, I'm a perfectionist, recovering perfectionist, but I think I look back and there's so many things that like I've done or accomplished, and I'm like, all right, on to the next thing. And I don't think that we celebrate our wins, even if they're small enough, or like take time to acknowledge all the things that we do. And maybe that's something we need to do more this year.
Maybe so. I mean, we also treat like our trip to Mick, and then every year we do a retreat, like a 3-day retreat, and we go away to our favorite place in the mountains, and we do rent an Airbnb, and we've rented really nice places. It's kind of a treat for us. So I guess we do celebrate, but not like ongoing,
Okay. Can I propose something to the two of you?
Yes.
For this year,
when we come to the mountain retreat, that's what I'm
look,
proposing.
okay, I mean, obviously, duh. Okay, how about this year on the 10th of every month, you guys just do something small to represent your 10th year in business. It's a cup of coffee, it's an ice cream cone, it's a Target shopping trip where you guys just get to talk and reflect and just like get to celebrate, like where you just say, what do you want to celebrate on the 10th? Like it could be the fact that Selena didn't buy 10 orders this month. She like limited it. You know what I mean? Like, and then that way we can check back with you and say, hey, on the 10th, did you celebrate? Like, what did you celebrate on the 10th this month?
That's a good
maybe
idea.
we'll cook dinner together. Our family loves to cook. Like we are all super big cooks, so foodies. Yeah. So
I love that. I don't know where Selena just. Oh, there you go. I'm like,
I got excited.
I hit appeared with my picture on her. It's like, what? I'm still here, people. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. So I know we're gonna go. So you guys, we literally just gave Madison and Wendy like a thing that we want them to celebrate. Because it is important to celebrate as business owners. And I think that's the number one thing we all don't do for ourselves.
Sure.
And you guys work hard. I mean, seriously. And then this Christmas holidays, I don't know how you did it. I mean, I would be like making bracelets in my sleep and just living at the post office. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I know you guys are busy. Yeah. So Let's move into, okay, look, we want to show you where you can find these wonderful things. And Madison and Wendy are gonna let me I just got excited and I forgot what button I'm supposed to push. And okay, so ladies, tell everybody about your website, your favorite places to go hunting for stuff. Yeah, do your thing.
Gifts and things like that.
Oh,
we can talk
sure. Um, this is our part of our homepage on our website, charliemadisonoriginals.com, if you want to find us and check us out. No, but we like to curate our website because we have so many different bracelets and there's a lot of different like bracelets that we have. We have a bunch of our military bracelets, whether they're branch specific or they're PCS or deployment bracelets. And then we have tons of other meaningful bracelets like empowering bracelets. We have bracelets of the month. And then we also have a big section of gifting, and which we always hear so many stories about like, oh, I gave Charlie Madison as a gift and somebody cried, or like this had this special moment. So we really are big on our gifting section of like, if you're looking for a gift for your mom or gift for your friend or gift even in like an entrepreneurial role, like for a client or for coaching or something like that. But there's lots and lots of bracelets for many different things that you could possibly want.
I just want to add to this, like when you think about it, so big fan of Charlie Madison as well, right? And it goes like there's layers. So it's the name of the bracelet, then it's the kind of beads that you use and the colors that you're putting together. Like there's so many layers of meaning that goes into the thought behind everything you guys create. You know, this is not them just stringing some things on some, you know, bracelet cord and tying it up and shipping it off. Like really, when you go on to their site, and you guys have done a great job, like you said, Madison, about curating the experience on your site. So you can really like see the thought behind what they've created. And that is part of the magic of your brand that I love so much. So in our toolkit, in our run of show, when you find it on our blog, it's going to have direct links to their website. And then if you get on their mailing list, you get to know all about the sales and things that come out first. Just as a heads up, like it's one of my favorite emails to get.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And then when you purchase, you might get a special invite to the Facebook group where there's a lot of very like-minded Charlie Madison stackers or whichever our names are, right? I love seeing, I was like, oh, I didn't know. I thought you only had to wear one at a time when I first bought it. Like I didn't know how to wear these bracelets.
Yeah.
Until
You got to get in there
like,
and
yeah,
there are some amazing stackers in that group. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like all the way up their arm.
I know.
Yeah. It is. I mean, again, I have like a bracelet rack upstairs that has like just, I mean, it's filled with different ones.
Yeah.
So, you guys, you have to go there. So, having said that, I'm going to go move over to this next slide. Wendy, Madison, tell everybody where you want them to find you, how to connect with you socially.
Well, we're online. Again, Madison said charliemadisonoriginals.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram, both the same, Charlie Madison Originals. And you put up my LinkedIn we love doing collaborations. We do custom work for people. So, you know, always businesses and things like that. It's not just individual people buying gifts. We love to work with all kinds
Madison, are you also on LinkedIn? Am I not not remembering that? Okay.
I am. And I should be more active on there. And
we're going to work on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Right, Anna?
Yes. We're gonna update the show notes in the blog so it has both of your LinkedIn connections on there. So go and connect with them on LinkedIn, especially again, think outside the box, like as an organization purchasing these as gifts or something along those lines. There really is so much meaning behind what they create that it is. I mean, I would rather this than like that $10, Starbucks card or something like that. Like it really is just like, there's so much beauty to what you guys bring.
Look, and we know how much I love Starbucks. I'm going to agree with Anna. I would rather a Charlie Madison anything than a
Aw.
a card. I'm just saying, guys. I'm
Thank
just
you.
saying. Okay, you guys connect with them here. We are at the end of the show.
We are.
And I just want to say, Wendy, Madison, thank you so much for saying yes. And I love that we're involved in many other efforts. You guys will probably see another episode on Anna's other life in the male spouse transition space. So we'll look forward to that. But you guys, Anna always ends it because I talk. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you for creating beautiful products. Thank you for creating a beautiful space for us to be when we buy your products. Just thank you for being you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks
Well,
for
thanks
having
for
us.
having us.
Of course, we loved it.
This is so great. We were so excited to do this with you guys.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much for being our guest today. As I close out the show, I just want to say, come and find Anna and Selena on annaandselena.com. We love LinkedIn. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and your favorite podcast platform, whatever it might be. So come and find us there. And we can't wait to see you at the next 15-ish minute coffee chat. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Did they actually make it to the outro music? I told you this would work, Selena. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in to today's show. Now head on over to annaandselena.com to listen to more of the 15-ish minute coffee chat. We've got over 100 episodes, all geared to making your businesses more fun and profitable.